Wow. I remember why I asked for that, because I wanted to feel exactly this as soon as I stood up here. That vibration, that lift, that power, that truth. Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Center for Spiritual Living East Hawaii. I am Reverend Beverley Strutt. I am the spiritual leader here at this beautiful community. And wow, today we get to talk about silence. That's it. We're going to go into a 20-minute meditation, and I'll see you on the other side. Sound good? Oh, my goodness, if only. I know that it would be a blessing to many. They tell me, you got to keep it down. I don't think that's ever going to happen. Anyway, it's brilliant to be here. Welcome to everybody. I want to say a special welcome to all the newbies, all of the those online that are meeting us for the first time, all of our welcome backs. Hannah, nice to see you. And this is going to be a beautiful day. Silence. Isn't that a fun topic? Tom, you're freaking hysterical, dude. Yes, thank you. Dig in, paddle hard, and enjoy the ride. I think that should be the topic for a year. Wouldn't that be great? Dive and thrive, it is, but just not as good, you know. So, hey, listen, I'm giving you something nice there. So anyway, silence. Silence is golden, right? Unless you got kids, then it's just freaking suspicious. All right? So we know, oh, yeah, paramching. So we are in this time of the year where there's a lot going on as far as newness, change. It's spring. Did anybody notice in Hawaii it's spring? It's spring, I promise. It says so on the calendar. These next months are spring. We got spring here. We're the year of the snake. We're shedding, we're changing, we're shifting. And just around the corner, of course, we have Easter. That idea of newness, new beginnings, new ways of being in the world, all these different things. And of course, that brings me to one of my favorite times of the year, which is Lent. Lent was originally just came from Lenten, which was spring. But Lent has become known as this time of fasting, of shifting, of changing, of allowing something new to come in. But the word in there, fasting, is the one I'm going to go into a little bit more. And the last time I spoke about this idea of commitment, where it's difficult sometimes to commit to changes and things that we want to see different in our lives, because it's kind of like making a New Year's resolution. So yeah, you've made it. Boom, you're in. And a month later, you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore. That's just not going to happen because I've got to do that for the rest of my life. Yeah. But Lent is different. Lent is 40 days, 40 nights, except Sundays, which nobody ever told me growing up that I had Sundays off. No. It was 40 days, 40 nights, and just whatever else more you had to go. I used to go all the way through Easter Sunday morning. And everybody goes, well, but you're done by Thursday night. I'm like, really? Chocolate on Friday? Did anybody tell me? No, nobody did. But so we just goes. But it's a finite time, right? It's 40 days, 40 nights. Who can't make a commitment for that length of time? It's still 40 days and 40 nights. Trust me. Anybody ever tried to give up chocolate for that length of time, you know it's not easy. It's not easy at all. But here's the thing. We can go through that process of changing, letting go, fasting of things as we want to do. And of course, normally it's like, well, what am I going to give up? There was a time, oh gosh, I don't know if I should tell this story. Let me see. It just topped in. There was a time, I will, what the heck. There was a time when I was bartending. And of course, it's always really good to give up something alcoholic when you're a bartender. It's a good thing. So I thought I would just give up shots. Not going to give up drinking, but just give up shots. So you know what I did? I poured a glass, put a straw in it, and sucked down really, really hard. So that was the way I got around giving up. But the point is, that was the old days, long days. If you know the history of how I got here, you know that the only reason I'm with Centers for Spiritual Living is because they're the only church that would take me. Nobody else said, I go, oh, no, we're not going to take you. You're just a little bit too far over the edge. But what we do in a New Thought or Science of Mind, when we think about what it is we want to give up for Lent, what it is we want to fast ourselves of Lent, we think more along the lines of behaviors, thoughts, hidden beliefs. There's things that you do every single day that you really go, why am I still doing that? And what we do for Lent is we just bring our awareness to one of those things, just one of them. Now, that one thing could be a package that has 60 things in it. You can do that one too. You can bundle. I hear bundling's good. So you can bundle your fasting. Now, if there is something in your life that is a food or a physical thing that you'd like to give up at the same time, and you can hook them together, it makes a really good bundle. But more importantly, Lent offers us the time of awareness. Bring your awareness to what it is you are telling yourself, because that's the way I like to go. What is it you are telling yourself that you don't need to be telling yourself anymore? What is that thing? Because every time you tell yourself that, guess what? Your brain hears it. Your whole body hears it. God hears it. And guess what happens when God hears? Gives you more. Because God is responsive. God is not thinking. God is not biased. God is not going, well, she keeps thinking that thought, and I'm going to change that thought. Oh, no. God waits for you to change and then goes, here's some more goodness to go with it. So it's up to you to become aware enough about what it is that you do not want to see in your life. There's a lot of noise going on around us right now, a tremendous amount of noise. We're filling our minds and our days with all of this stuff. All of this stuff. That in alone is something that you can fast. You can turn the news off for a little bit. Oh my God. I just saw the whole vibration go like this inside. You can let go of social media for a little bit, even if it's sections of the day. The reason you want to do this is because you want to give yourself some space. This is what's so cool about fasting. You know, when you fast in your body, what happens? You clear yourself out, and there's room for all this goodness to come in. It's the same with our minds and our brains. It's the same with our activities of the day. We fill our world with noise. And when I say noise, I'm talking about activities, focuses, attention on stuff. And the reason we do this mostly is because we're afraid of the silence. Anybody relate to being afraid of the silence? Why? Well, because suddenly we have to recognize what we actually are telling ourselves. We actually have to hear. We have to actually feel. We have to feel something in there. We got to feel. We got to become aware of where we are in the world. How are we walking? How are we riding the tides of this time? That's actually the topic today. Silence just happens to be the greatest way to get there. So we had to bring it in the beginning because it worked really well. So the whole idea about this awareness is to facilitate an open space of calm that'll help you ride the tides. I'm not talking about riding the waves. The waves are different. We ride the waves, we have intentions, we go, we see and everything. The tides are different. They're lower key, they're already in place, they're already happening. The tides of life are happening. The tides in the ocean are happening all the time? How do we get to ride the tides of our own and our own emotions and our own desires? Where is our awareness in this moment so that we can have the space to see how we are riding our tides? Yep. So I have a story about tides. Anybody ever go down to Maku'u Point? You know there are some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful tide pools. Absolutely wonderful. I remember one of the first times I went down there, got down, parked my car, got my little towel, and had my little non-skid little slippers on, and off I went walking across the lava. And I stopped at the one place that looked really, really pretty, and I heard some laughter just across the way. So I walked a couple of further steps, and here was the perfect jacuzzi. It was the perfect jacuzzi. There were a couple of people sitting in it. It was filled up perfectly. And I was like, well, can I join in? So I just dropped myself in. And every now and then, this gentle wave would just pop in and it was brilliant. It was there for ages. Perfect. I went about my way, and then I wanted to go back. Has anybody ever gone to a tide pool looking for water and there's none? None, I tell you. I'm going, this was at the bottom of this beautiful little place that I was sitting. None. And I was like, what the heck? So being new to the island, I realized that the tides will come in and fill it. And then they will go out and they'll take the water with them. And then they'll fill it and take the water with them. So I decided to go down randomly to see if I never got any water again. I mean, some water, but nothing like I had. Or I'd go down and they were breaking so hard that I knew that I was going to be gone. I mean, if I got in there, I would be, they'd be looking for me 6 weeks later going, she was last seen heading down Maku'u. There was this way, and then I thought, well, I've got to have a way. I've got to work this out. I've got to know how to do this. So I got myself a tide book. And I would look at the tides every single day. It was actually an app, not a book. So just saying. I would look at the tides every single day, and I go, okay, high tide, low tide. And I would and now I'm trying to guess. I go down there. Well, should I go down now, an hour before, an hour after? I was in this whole midst of control. I wanted to control my experience, control the tide. You know how that worked for me, right? Yeah, no, it didn't. It didn't work. And I never, ever, in all the times I've been down there, I never, ever hit that experience again. Just never did. And then, of course, people started giving me all the horror stories about don't go down there, don't do this, don't slip, all the rest of it. So eventually, it just wandered out of my experience. But the point of this whole thing is about trying to control it, trying to control that experience that comes with actually allowing, letting it go. Randomly, if I went down, now I could probably walk down there and it would be absolutely perfect because I no longer have any attachment to wanting to make it happen. I want to make it happen. I've got to control this, got to get it done. I then had another magnificent experience down at Maku'u Point. A little embarrassing, I might tell you, but still it was very, very, it was really important. I went down there one day, and I'm sitting down there, and I wanted to meditate, and I'm just gazing down into the ocean there, and it's blissful and wonderful, and suddenly a honu comes into play. A honu is right there. And it's really tumultuous, the water and everything. And I start watching the honu, and I'm watching the honu. And as I'm watching, my panic begins. Because this honu is going to get pushed up and beaten against the rocks, and it's going to die in front of me, and I'm not going to be able to do a damn thing about it. And I look down, and I'm like, what am I going through panic mode? Meditation, gone. right? That was the last time I thought of meditation at that point. I'm thinking, what am I going to do? How can I get down there? Can I help it? What am I going to do? This is going to just smash into smithereens because of this ocean that is so rough and the tide is so strong. And it's a little baby Honu. What am I going to do? I had to leave. I just had to leave because I knew there was absolutely nothing I could do. And the panic inside of me was so strong that all I could do was leave and just go, well, I just pray for the best for this damn Honu. As I'm walking away, there's a fisherman, and he goes, you're leaving so soon? I go, yeah, I'm worried about the Honu. You know what he did? Exactly. He burst out laughing. He laughed at me so hard that I was like, who are you? I'm caring about this Honu. And all he could do was belly laugh like you could not believe. And I looked at him, I go, what are you going on? He goes, honey, that's what the Hanus do. They play. There is no stress in that Hanu. That Hanu is having a brilliant time. They come every day, and they play here every day because the tide is perfect for them. And the reason I looked down, I was like, oh my God, I am such an idiot. Because I was trying to put my earthbound experience into the water, being in it. They're in it. They're of it. They ride it. They know it. They love it. They play with it all the time. I thought it was just out of control and just had nowhere to go and was just going to land up being beaten up. So here is a perception that we have about how we navigate the world, how other people navigate the world, how animals navigate the world. And there's a lot to be learned in our lessons of how we can see the tides coming and going naturally, how we can watch the Hanu that is so used to being in it, be in it, and there's not an issue with this. You know, everybody in every situation can run into trouble once in a while, and we understand that. But in the nature of things, there is this rhythm, there is this tidal, there is this calm, there is this peace, there is this place. Have you ever been caught in a riptide? Yeah, not so much calm. Yes. Anybody ever been caught in a riptide and tried to swim out of it straight towards the beach? Because this is what we got to do. We panic. We got to get out of there. I am going to be there, and I'm going straight towards the beach, and I'm going. I'm not even going to think about anything else because I know that this is the only way I can get out of this riptide. Until exhaustion sets in and you have to surrender or allow. And the minute you allow, the possibility of what can be for you shows up brilliantly. And you start swimming along the beach. Now, is it going to take you in a different direction for a little while? So what? You swim along the beach, and eventually you can swim your way in. Now, there's another lesson. Ride in the tides. Really? I think it was the next page. Therein lies the question for us, how we ride in the tide of our lives right here, right now. Sounds like a song. And one of the things that we want to look at as you're doing this ride in the tides is what is the greatest gift that we can give ourselves if we want to stay in peace and calm and gentleness and really work ourselves through a time when we could be riptide every single day. We could show up in tide pools where there's no water. We can do these things. But one of the things we need to is that power for good in the universe that's greater than we are, that we call God. We can lean in there. The way Tom described all of the pieces, the flotation device, and it all comes back to God. It all comes back to God. But If we do not have space for God, we need to fast. We need to fast. We need to let go of some of the stuff that is filling our lives, the noise, the constant, the drama, the anxiety, the what ifs, all of these things. We have this perfect opportunity right now to fast this stuff out, to open the space for God to come in and be that magnificent support system that we need at this time. That place when the riptide, when you surrender or allow, and the revelation or the seeing that going along the beach is the best way to go, is the direction that the divine is trying to take us in every single day. Now, this is not the divine making a decision for us, that it is deciding that we need to go in this direction because that's what's best for us. Oh, no, no, no. The divine is unbiased. The divine, I'd hate to say this sometimes, doesn't care in that manner. It is us to opt at that moment in time to go, show me God. Show me. This is my intention. This is my desire. My intention is for a peaceful life. My desire is to see all well. Show me. And there the path will open up for you, because the divine is a responsive energy giving to you exactly what it is that you are leaning into and are willing to receive. So it's no good in opening up all this space. Well, you're not going to even start opening the space if you're not willing to receive. If you haven't got to that point where you realize that you want something more and you're willing to receive it, you can try, and in fact, that ain't going to work. So we got to get there. We got to get to that willingness. So we go back to the closet. I went back to the closet, or this day we can go back to the pantry. Let's just go back to the pantry because it's about fasting. You see that thing that's stuck in the back there in that pantry? We can eventually dig it out because you've got to move everything out the way to get it. You pick it up and it's got an expiration date of it of 20. It's time to let it go. It truly is time to let it go. And there are many, many, many other things in there. And you'll know that as you empty those past expiration dates on them, your pantry is going to open up and there's going to be space for new and more wonderful goodness coming forward based on the desires of now. You bought that can back when your desires were different or when you were in fear to buy them. Let it go. Now is the time. There's a time we're letting go of the skin of the year of the snake. We've got Lent, a perfect opportunity for you to let go and set up new habits. It's springtime. Let's clear out those closets. What do you think? All right, so I'm going to pick up these pieces of paper because there's one piece I'm going to read. There it is. It's from Louise Hay, from her affirmations today for March. She said this: I feel like cleaning house this month, both literally and figuratively. I take the time to go through my home and collect what I no longer need, then gladly donate it to someone who can use it. I treasure the happy memories these objects have given me, but the items themselves are no longer necessary. Then I review the old junk taking up room in my head and release it too. I now choose to let go of all hurt and resentment and any other negative weeds that are crowded in my garden of thoughts. I feel so free and so light. And so it is. All right. Let's take this to prayer. So we just breathe into this moment, into this beauty, and into this light, into this feeling of freedom. And we recognize and know that there is only one power, one source, one universal creative mind that I call God, and God is all there is. All that is seen, all that is unseen, omnipotent, omnipresent, ever creating, supplying, supporting, and sustaining every single expression. There is nowhere where God is not. And I know that I'm one with this. I know that each and every one of us is one with this divine creative intelligence as it has its way in, through, and as each and every one of us. And I know without a shadow of a doubt that as we move through this week, as we begin, if you choose, this time of Lent, that there is an opportunity and a space for letting go, an opportunity to move into this idea of fasting, of all the noise and the unneeded activities of the day, a chance to let go that which no longer serves us. And as we do that, we open the space for the divine to come forward in and say, yes, my beloved, yes, I hear you, I see you, I agree with you. And let's do this. Let's do it together. So I know that this actually is already done in the mind of the divine, just waiting for each one of us to open our own door, our own heart, our own willingness to say, yes, I'm ready. Let me go ahead and do this. Bring in the awareness, bring in the joy. Revel in those moments of, oh my goodness, I can't believe I still had that thing in the back of the closet. But we know that as we release it, there is space and opening for more. And I know in that space, the silence is what brings the divine even closer. So I call this good. I call it magnificent. So I release this prayer, this time together, saying that it is done in the mind of God, and we can claim it by saying, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you.